So in this project, we're just going to go through what we need. And if you have bought a kit, obviously you'll get your patterns. I've cut out your patterns in shape, and all these are cut pieces. I'm just going to go through one by one, so I'm going to keep this aside. In your kit, you get all these pieces. They will be marked from behind, but they may not be cut to proper pattern, which means you need to cut them. And you got a little white piece. I will explain what that is in a minute. You get a long strip, which is your handle, your bias binding. This is some decoration fabric, and there's your lining. You obviously need your pair of denim, and you'll also get a few strips of Shape Easy to join your denim to get this white panel. And this is called seamless zigzag join, and I'll place a link below the video for you to watch how to join the piece of denim so you get a bigger panel. I've also cut a few pockets, 2 back pockets and 1 front pocket. We're going to put 2 of them in the lining inside, and 1's going to go outside. So that's it in the kit. So let's go through what we need to do before we go ahead with this project. So there is your denim piece, cut as per your pattern. And just remember to cut 2 notches here as per the pattern. Please do not forget that. And the first thing is we're going to decorate one side of the bag. So if I can find the marked pieces, you've got one there, and then you got the other one which kind of sits in like so. So that should sit in perfectly. It's right next to each other. There's a little gap, but there's not a lot of gap. So let me just bring that up. So there's a little gap here. So, and your shoe is going to go like that. And just make sure this is kind of aligned to the bottom, because that's the heel of the shoe. And then the upper part, the feet part, is just going to sit like so. It's advisable, if you have a stick and stay spray, just temporary adhesive, just spray that in, then it's easy to go and sew. I haven't got it right now with me, so I will have to do with probably doing the shoe base first and then this one. So I'm going to chain this with the denim thread and go and sew it on the denim. Once you've done your stitching for the leatherette fabric, you don't need the denim thread any longer. You can just use normal ordinary thread to do the rest of the bag. Only when you're sewing this, that's when you need the denim thread. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to use just 1 contrast thread to do all the stitching on the outside. I'm not going to keep changing the matching threads. Okay, while sewing leather, you might find that sometimes the leather stretches and the presser foot doesn't move, and so on and so forth. The easy way to do it would be to use a Teflon foot, would be like a rubber plasticky sort of presser foot. Other easy way, not changing anything at all, is to use normal sheet of baking paper. Place it on top, and it's a little bit transparent, so you can actually see where to do the stitching, and just go and sew. It's as simple as that. So basically, going through the outline, it just makes it a breeze and a dream to actually sew. And so I have done the whole area of the shoe. So basically, simply just tear the paper away. Again, just tear the inside, and it's just as simple as that. And paper is not that difficult to tear because it's just a parchment baking paper. And I use the same technique to do the white bit here, and you do the same the rest. So here I have the shoe sewn in. I think my shoe should have come probably a bit more like that, but hey, it doesn't matter. I have put some quilting clips on the side. These are so cheap to buy, and they're very, very handy, especially when you're trying to sew a few layers of fabric or leather. They hold them together, so you don't have to use the pin, and then they'll make the mark, and it's just so easy. Again, I'm going to put a piece of baking sheet and then just sew around the edge here and the edge here. So a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch, the denim is actually showing through. Okay, and once we do that, later on we're going to just cut off the denim from inside. Okay, I have actually sewn in these two panels, but what I realized was there's an easy way to do it. If you're doing the burgundy and the tan colored one, it just sometimes a little bit difficult. So if you cut a sheet of paper, which will cover the entire area, and then pin this, go and draw, because it's easy to draw with a pencil, just the outline of the leatherette, and it will draw. You don't really need to see it, because if you just go tracing the outline, the ridge of the fabric will just guide the pencil just to go and make the mark. So then all you have to do is, keeping that as the edge of your fabric, just sew within the line. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to lift this up and try and cut this off, because we don't want the excess fabric to kind of bunch up and have too many layers to sew in. So remove this off from the bottom on both the sides. So with this stripy fabric, we're just gonna, on the lengthwise, we're gonna place it like so, cut this into half, and then use it any way you like, really. I just want to bring a little bit of lighter color here in the front, so I might just kind of fold the half this side and fold the half this side, just give a crease mark, so it kind of really neatly finished, and just sew on either side. And while we're doing this, we're also going to sew in the pocket, which is this one. We're just going to fold it in and just bind the edges. By folding the bust binding into half, we're just going to edge just the top bit. You're going to edge bind it so that it's neatly finished. So let me go ahead and do that, come back and show you the next step. Here is the other side of the tote bag. I've sewn in a pocket, put a stripy fabric across diagonally. There's no hard and fast rule. If you want to know the measurements of how I placed it, from here it's about 9 1/4 inch, or about 24 centimeters, and from the top here it's about 3 centimeters, about inch and 1/4. So that's how the other side looks, and on here I've just sewn in 3 buttons. I don't know if this is included in your kit, but you may get some buttons. They're all upcycled. They may be different from what you see here. That's what it is. So now we go ahead and join the lining together. Before we do that, we just need to sew the handles in. So the handles are these, and then you've got bust binding, which is going to go on the center. I'm just trying to make it easy for people to sew who are using the leatherette fabric for the first time. Same way, prepare your lining exactly the same as your main panel, and then I'm also going to attach some pockets just like this. It's nothing elaborate. So you have seen a lot of projects before where we do the edge binding with the bust binding. I'm going to prepare that and then come back and show you the next step. I'm just going to show you, pin this or place this together, the handles, and then show you how this is put together. So basically, make a mark in the center, just a pencil mark. I've not made it, I've just folded it. And fold the edge of one of the sides to that mark and put some clips. You can also use temporary fabric glue if you have got, that will be very handy. And all I'm going to do is place my bust binding like so, and just sew on the edge. And it's as simple as that. And if you want to, you can tape this together as well, so it's just easy to sew. Just sew on either side. Okay, for those of you who are sort of confused as to whether you're doing it right or wrong, I thought I'll take a shot at the machine and show you what I'm doing. Basically, it's very, very simple. And if you want to just clip it on either side, which will make it a lot more easier, and take the clips off as you sew along. And I'm just placing the bust binding like so, and just sewing an edge stitch. Also, if you find it difficult that your machine is not kind of feeding from underneath, the feed dog as they call it, if it's not feeding properly, the best thing would be to place a sheet of baking paper underneath as well. It just makes it so much easier. My machine's doing alright. This is a very, very basic machine, so it should be fine. If you do find it difficult, just use a sheet of parchment or baking paper. Okay, here is one side of the lining, and I have put in a patch pocket, just like how we did on the front of the bag. And here is the other side, and I have patched up a front pocket where binded on all three sides. So there's the opening, and there's a smaller pocket as well. And you can also see the loop detail, which looks quite nice. I have attached the handle with the binding side facing upwards, which means we will see the leather side when you actually use the bag. And the same way we do this on both the sides of the bag. So once you've done that, now we're going to go and put the bag together. This is now exactly, apart from this is not a straight line, it's got a curved line. This is exactly like a tote bag. So take one of the lining, like so, and then we're going to flip this to this side, and we just go and sew all around this edge. You can use either 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch stitch. I think 1/2 inch stitch would be advisable. And also when it comes to here, if you can't pivot, I mean, it's not enough angle to pivot the corner properly. So if you go a little bit curvy, it's absolutely fine. But just make sure that you follow the same on both the sides. So we go and attach the mouth of the bag on both sides of the fabric. So we have sewn in the edges, and that's how it looks. Now where you have this curve, you need to make some snip marks, just so that, because it's denim, it just needs that little edge where it just will kind of turn over and give you a smooth finish at the top. So just make it every 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch or so. I'm just making this snip mark underneath the handle as well. So we're going to turn this over. Ideally we need to put a top stitch, but we are going to do a top stitch later on, because now if I just turn this over, you can see that you have got a very neatly curved top of the bag. And if you iron it properly, then you should get that neat curve all around. So go and do this on the other side of the bag, and then we just join this just like a tote bag. So both the layers have been joined now, so place one part of your bag like so, and then place the other part of the bag like so, and we are going to go and sew from this here, here and here, and at the bottom of the bag we're going to leave about 6 inches from the center and close only the edges, because this is just standard. I haven't given a notch in the pattern simply because if I give you a notch, then you're going to make that notch here on the denim, and then you will end up making it on the leather. That's the reason I've not given a notch. But these are explained in instructions and here on video as well. So leave about 6 inches gap and then close the edges off, and then we're going to turn this inside over, close that, and close the corners as well. So let me go and sew all around and come back and show you the next step. Okay, so here is the opening that we have left. Now I would really advise you, at least on the denim side, go and open your seams, because once you open the seams it just makes it so much easier and a neater finish. Once you've done the seam, pressing the seam open, we're just going to bring these two corners here like so, and bring these two corners here like so, and sew it in a straight line about 1/2 inch seam. And the same thing we're going to do for this side as well. Also, if you are new and if this is maybe this is your beginner project and you've taken this on, I have other videos on my channel where I go through really intricate step by step, and I show you every single detail about tote bags, which was done year before and last year. So I'll put some links on the video on the description box below. Go and watch it, because these ones, because I've done so many tote bags, I'm kind of rushing you through because I don't want to take you through the sewing machine and then come back, and it's just a lot of work. So I'm just showing you on the table. But if you want to see each one of the sewing shots as well, it's probably wise and advisable to go back and watch some of my previous videos where you see step by step. Okay, so it is all sewn up, so I'm going to turn this inside out and then do a top stitch. So after turning inside out, you've got this little opening there. Fold it and hold it and just sew an edge stitch from opening to the opening. And then we're also going to go and do a top stitch 1/2 inch away from the edge, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. So there you have it, guys. This beautiful tote bag is now ready. If you like this project, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I shall see you in the next project. Bye bye for now. Thanks for watching.